Oh, welcome. This is Vocabulary Week 11, Tuesday time. In fact, you know what we're going to do? We're going to change this real time. Watch this. It's going to be amazing. We're going to make this say Tuesday time. Watch this. Tuesday time. Vocab. Oh, gosh. Vocab. Week 11. That's all true. We're doing it. Here we go. Now, this week is entirely about my fixation with a certain movie that I'm not going to name, but seeing this movie makes you cool. This movie goes all the way up to 11. So, here we go. The words of the week this week, we have a few to look at. We have resolution, dichotomy, contend, gregarious, precocious, ingratiate, duress, anomaly, squander, and nihilism. Now that's David St. Hubbins and Nigel Tufnell rocking out because they love these words. I love these words. You're going to love these words. Here we've got resolution. Resolution's a noun. It's an answer or a solution to a problem. The resolution is the answer itself. It's the way you're going to solve it. Oftentimes lawmakers will draft a resolution. That's a law that they're making to solve a certain problem, right? If you need to find a resolution. To make it into a verb, you can resolve something. You know, you may have noticed that in there is like solution, like to solve a problem, right? Or solve is kind of hidden in there, that S-O-L. So those are little hints on it. Dichotomy, it's a noun. It's a division between two things. Last week we had nexus. The nexus is the connection between two things. Dichotomy is kind of the difference. It's kind of the opposite there. It's the break itself. It's the thing that separates two things from one another. It's the thing that causes people to not get along, okay? It's the break itself that separates two things from one another. Now, unfortunately, this picture is from when David and Nigel got into an argument and Nigel left the band. And they couldn't get good shows. There was a dichotomy between the two. It was because a girl came between them, like often does with friends. And so they had to share the bill with a puppet show at what was like basically a zoo. It was humiliating to everyone. Contend. To contend, it's a verb. It's to work and to struggle against some kind of opposition. Now, that opposition can take all kinds of shapes. You can contend in an argument. I would contend your point is not valid, right? That's fine. You could have someone contend a different solution to a problem, right? That'd be fine. A contender in boxing is someone who's going through the opposition until they become champion, right? The champ has to fight a contender. That's someone who's coming up against him. So that'd be a noun form of, right? A contender is the person who's trying to contend. Right? Contention is also a noun. It's the struggle itself, okay? So, gregarious. This is a favorite word of mine. It goes well with one we had a few weeks ago, which was to be loquacious. It's to talk too much. Someone can be loquacious and talk too much. To be gregarious, you don't have to be loquacious. To be gregarious is to be extremely friendly. Someone who's gregarious, they like being around other people. They're a people person. They get along with everybody. You like having them at a party, all right? Now, Nigel and David are here in somewhat happier times. They were still in the band, but, you know, as David says, it's such a fine line between stupid and clever, which is me basically just admitting that I admit you may not like my pictures on this slideshow, but you know what? That's what happens when I put the pictures in and not Douglas. Precocious. It's an adjective. Someone who is precocious, it's almost always used to describe people, is unusually advanced or mature in their development. It's usually used to describe someone who is very intelligent or very adult acting at an extremely early age. Think about like little Mozart, right? Amadeus Mozart. He started playing piano when he was 3. He wrote a concerto when he was 4, right? I think he wrote his first opera at 6. He was precocious. He was extremely intelligent very early on and very mature and doing interesting things. Incidentally, he ended up not being that mature later on in life. So someone who's precocious shows extreme early promise. There's an actress in the 80s named Ali Sheedy, and she wrote her first novel when she was 11, and it got published. I had to read it when I was in school. It's called She Was Nice to Mice. It's about Queen Elizabeth I. That's not great, but she was 11 when she wrote it. It's pretty impressive. All right, ingratiate. It's a verb. It's the act of working to get in good with others, to get on their good side, all right? You can ingratiate yourself to someone, right? I need to ingratiate myself to my students. I need to get you guys to trust me and like me so that we can have a good relationship as teacher and student, so you'll listen to me and trust me. Next, duress. Duress is a noun. It's the restraint or the force or the fear of punishment. It's used to make someone do something that they don't want to do. It's almost always used next to the word under. If someone is under duress, that means that there's some kind of threat or force making them do something that they don't want to do. If someone is tortured for information, they give up that information under duress, right? If you get in trouble and you have to go talk to the principal, and they say, listen, if you don't come clean, or if you don't do what we want you to do, you're going to get suspended. You are under duress, right? You're afraid of being punished if you don't do what you're supposed to do. To some degree, you could say like all of school and all of life works that way because you're scared of consequences for not doing what you're supposed to do, but that wouldn't quite work, really. Under duress is intentional force being put on someone to make them do something that they don't want to do. Now, an anomaly is a noun. An anomaly is a thing or an occurrence that stands out from the usual or the norm. It's an unexpected variation from the rest. You have all the results, they're all the same, they're all very predictable, but then one of them stands out. Well, you go, wait a second, what's that? That's an anomaly. It doesn't fit in with the pattern, it stands out for some other reason. Now, here in the corner, this is when the band, when Spinal Tap was briefly in their hippie phase, and this is their song, Listen to the Flower People, or as they just call it, Flower People. And it does not make sense. When you listen to their other records, it is bizarre that they have this one. It's very surprising. Flower People is an anomaly in the career of Spinal Tap. I'm so pleased to be talking about Spinal Tap this morning. This gives me unbelievable joy. Thank you for allowing it, or, tolerating it. All right, so to squander is a verb. I might have squandered your time with all my Spinal Tap jokes. It's to spend or to use up wastefully and foolishly. It's to waste something. You can squander your time, you can squander your money, you can squander the goodwill and good faith of other people, which maybe I have done with all my Spinal Tap jokes. So that's what that is. This may have made you into a nihilist, but God, I hope not. Nihilism, it's a noun. It's a philosophy, all right? It's an outlook on life, and nihilism is the label that we've given to this particular philosophy, all right? It's a total and complete rejection of societal laws, norms, and ideals. It's a philosophy that throws out any notion of the order of rule, of order or of rule. It's kind of like anarchy. Anarchy is when you reject all organization of law. But nihilism goes further into saying that nothing has value. It indicates a destructiveness toward the self and toward others. If you meet someone who describes themselves as a nihilist, don't be their friend. They are not a good person. They value nothing, all right? You really don't want to mess with them. There's a movie called The Big Lebowski, and in it there's a bunch of bad guys who say that they're nihilists, and they say, we believe in nothing. Because indeed, nihilists believe in nothing. They're unpredictable. They're dangerous. You don't want to be a nihilist. And you don't want to make friends with nihilists. They're bad. All right, so here we go. Here's the idiom of the week. The idiom of the week is to look a gift horse in the mouth, which is oddly related to last week's don't look, straight from the horse's mouth. To look a gift horse in the mouth is to be ungrateful to someone who gives you something, right? They gave you a gift, and you're like, man, I don't know if I really want this gift. That's looking a gift horse in the mouth, right? You treat the person who gave you the gift badly. You insult them for having given you a present, or you treat the present with suspicion. You think that it's not much of a gift for one reason or another. If you get a car, but the car kind of sucks, right? It's dented, it smells. You don't want to say anything to your parents because they still give you a car, and you don't want to hurt their feelings or insult them, right? A friend of yours gives you a birthday present you're not really crazy about it. You're like, no. You don't go, well, thanks a lot. You go, oh, thank you very much, even if you don't really care about it. Now, the expression comes from kind of what we talked about before. Straight from the horse's mouth means you have it on good authority that thing's good because you've examined said horse. To look a gift horse in the mouth means someone gave you a horse for free. And you're like, I don't know, is it healthy? Do I really want it? So you start checking out its health and you give it a checkout, right? Checkup, rather. So that's what that is. Now, up in the corner, of course, Nigel Tufnell. There he is. My hero. He goes all the way up to 11. You go all the way up to 11. This class goes all the way up to 11. You're great. I wish you all the luck in the world. Good luck on the quiz this week. And we'll take it on Tuesday. Thanks a lot.